Good morning, guys and gals. Froggy here. What am I going to show you today? Today I'm going to put some poly bushings in the upper control arm rear driver, rear passenger of a C5 Z06 Corvette. There's one right there that's already installed. It's got the rubber bushings in there. Looks like two big nuts and bolts holding the top, and then a upper ball joint on the outer end. And what I went out and bought another set of control arms for the whole car so that I could just switch them out, make it a little bit easier, I guess. In case I got hung up at some point in the job, I wouldn't have a car that was halfway apart and not usable. So I got these off a guy on a forum and polished them up a little bit. They'll never look that good again, so enjoy that. And now we're going to put them on. Okay, we'll go to the bench first and we'll put the new poly bushings in. I'll show you how to grease them and install them, and then we'll take the old one out, put the new one in. One thing you need to know if you get one of these kits, every corner and every front, leading edge, trailing edge, they're all different sizes. They're all different part numbers, so you got to kind of lay them out and not get them mixed up. This is the correct one here, and that one there. So I've got them all sorted out. The front I've already done. I don't think I put up a video when I did the front. That was before I started doing videos. But if you go on Corvette forum, I've got a write-up there. Just look up Froggy on the Corvette forum and some of the stuff that I put up there, and you'll see a pretty good... I took pictures, so you'll see some pictures of how I did the fronts. We've got some special, very sticky grease that comes with the kit. You don't want to use regular grease. It'll be too thin, and it'll get hot and work its way out, and then you won't have the proper greasing for the bushing to work. Where does the grease go? The grease goes on the outsides of the pin, inside the bushing. That's where it rotates, right there and right there. And it does not go here. Here we're going to use some alcohol. I like straight alcohol. You can put a little water in with it too. And that's to make this go in easy. So alcohol here, grease inside, grease on the pin. Nothing inside the pin. Okay? Got that? Okay, I greased it all up, and now I'm putting some alcohol in there. Make sure you got the inside area of the control arm clean. If you burned out the rubber bushings, which I do not recommend, but if you did that, then you got some cleaning to do here with a Scotch-Brite pad or something. Get it clean so that your new bushings will go in easy. I just push them out. I use a tool actually that I designed to push them out, but that's another video. Okay, I got that together mostly just by hand pressure, and then just to finish it off, I've got a great big set of channel locks that I used. You can use your imagination, come up with something to press it together. It'll get a little bit hard towards the end of it, but really not that bad. If you've got strong hands, you can pretty much get it the whole way with your hands. Now I'm going to do the other side. I want to show you this. I got one side in, and the other side was giving me a little hard time, so I went to my vise, and this is just a big socket so that I'm getting equal pressure all the way around because if I didn't use the socket, then I've just got this little narrow piece of the vise pushing, and it could cock the bushing one way or the other way. It's got to go in dead straight. So here's one way to get around it. I could not get this one in by hand, and using these pliers, the big pliers that I showed you before, wasn't working either. But this seemed to work. So also, I've got a little 1/4-inch drive extension in the middle here, just to help keep things straight. It's not a tight fit or anything, but I just stuck it in there. I'm going to take it out now, and that was just to help things stay straight. There's a little extension. I just had it loose inside there, help keep things straight. When you're pushing these bushings in, whether you're using your hands or pliers or the vise that I showed you, the vise is kind of like it's like a press. It's like a 1-ton press or whatever you can get on there. I can't emphasize enough, it's got to be squared off to the hole. If it's cocked, if it's a little this way, a little that way, a little that way, it ain't going to go. Trust me. Got to be squared. So it's better to back off, try again, back off, try again, back off. The third time's the charm, and you'll get it to start. Once it starts, it's a piece of cake. Okay, let's look at the one that's coming off. 18 millimeter on these bolts, and they come out pretty easy. The nut apparently is captured or welded to that piece of suspension, the bracket that holds the bushings in the upper control arm. So you just twist them off with an 18. I got a special tool for this ball joint. Let me see how that works. Okay, I'm back. I had a little lunch break. What I did is I put a bottle jack under the lower ball joint just to take some tension off the whole corner, because I'm jacked up right in the middle on the differential, and I got a couple of jack stands that are in close to the differential. But basically that spring is really putting a lot of down pressure when the weight of the car is off the two corners. So I put a jack under there. I think that's going to help me break loose the, well, it won't help me break loose the upper ball joint, but it'll help me get that whole control arm off once I get the ball joint loose. Now I've got a new tool for this to remove the ball joint. I'll break the nut loose first, and then I'll show you this new tool. Okay, here you go. It's called a ball joint separation tool. Basically, there's a U-shaped section. Well, I'll take it out and show you. There. U-shaped section, so you get clear of the rubber on the ball joint. The old pickle fork used to tear up the rubber when you hammered it in there and tried to do the separation. Here, there's no hammering up on this top part. You just put that in there, and on the bottom there's a lever that's driven by this bolt that screws down into the bottom lever, pushes down on one end, up on the other end, and that once you've loosened this nut, which I've loosened it, you don't take it all the way out, you loosen it about so you can see, a 1/4 inch, maybe a 1/2 inch space there, and then you just crank down on this bolt, and it should pop open. Now let me see what I can do. Okay, here we go. I haven't staged this, so I don't know what's going to happen, but bing, there it is. Just pops apart. Pretty cool. Wish I had bought this 50 years ago. They've been selling these for a while. You're going to laugh. I got this for 14 bucks from Harbor Freight. You can pay about $100 for the same tool from another company. I won't mention the name of the company. Now, I don't begrudge any good American tool company for making a profit on their tools. But when the difference is $100 versus 14, then I'll let you guys make up your mind, you know, if there's value or what you want to do. But there you go. Worked. First time. Piece of cake. I love this tool. Once the ball joint, it's a tapered fitting. Once the ball joint is separated, it might start spinning when you try to take this nut off. So just take, GM has an Allen wrench hole on the bottom of the ball joint bolt, if you want to call it a bolt. So if you just stick an Allen in there, you can hold the bolt from spinning and use your wrench to get the nut off the rest of the way. Okay, we have success. We've got the rear driver upper control arm off with the rubber bushings undamaged, and now I'm going to put the new one in. Okay, those two went in pretty easy. You might want to use a little block of wood, a little hammer, a little pry bar. You have to kind of line these up so that the bolt will go in there. This one was easy. That one I had to persuade it a little bit. Don't try forcing the bolt in to make it line up. You'll just strip the threads on the leading edge of the bolt. Take something like I would line it up a little bit, and then I'd take my Allen and I'd feel around in the hole and make sure the hole was lined up pretty good, and then I'd try the bolt, and I'd move it a little more and try the bolt, move a little more, and then finally the bolt went right in nice and easy. Just got to fasten up the ball joint. Oh, by the way, I unclipped the wheel speed sensor wire and I just pushed it back. It's got a couple of little guides that hold it onto the parking brake cable. So take that off, push that back out of the way, make sure you bring it back and connect it right there when you're done, or you'll get some error codes. Don't forget to torque these. On my car it's 80 pounds here, 40 pounds on the ball joint, and plug my wheel speed sensor back in, and I am done. Now, that wasn't too bad, not counting lunch break. It took maybe 3 hours because I had to mess around with figuring out how to do stuff. The other side should go about half that time. But remember, there's 2 of these on each corner if you're doing a full poly bushing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, and each one is a little bit different. So this is to me it's a 2-day job unless you're just faster than I am. Anyway, I love that new ball joint separator tool. I'm going to put that up as a separate video just for people who are busting loose ball joints and not doing poly bushings. So if this is useful, give me a thumbs up. You want to see more from Froggy, subscribe to my channel, and you guys and gals all have a great weekend. Froggy out. Just a couple other little tips I thought of before I button it up. The upper rear control arm, I did not do anything that changed any alignment whatsoever on the car. The alignment in the back is toe and the lower control arm, and I didn't touch the toe and I didn't touch the lower control arm. So just in case somebody's going to post up a question, you don't have to change your alignment when you're doing upper control arm poly bushing. And in my opinion, the upper one on both the front and the back is really the one that gives you the most benefit. Sure, do the lowers too, but if you don't have time to do everything, do all the uppers, and I think you'll get some handling improvements just by doing that, and then when you have time, get around to it and do the lowers. Okay? Froggy out. Too cool. I just happen to have my camera out doing some work in the garage there.